wait for more people to pile in. And yada. Let me see here. How is it there's 10 of you and no one said anything in chat yet? What? Am I botting? Is that the deal? Bots, post up your OnlyFans. Oh. There we go. Let's get you. Mode. I swear, it's like my head kind of wants to start a headache. It's in that weird, like, I don't know. We're gonna tease you with it. I think we're gonna be fine. Uh-oh, now I'm actually thinking there might be something wrong. Wait a second. Wait a second. I think I know what might be the problem. Aha! I knew it! I knew it! There are people here in chat. The problem... Uh-huh. Yeah, the reason why it's not displaying is because Restream is not picking up whatever's going on in chat. Oh no! Okay, so this can get fixed. And I'm glad that we caught this. Alright, hang on. You guys are gonna peer behind the fucking curtain for a second. Hi chat, let's see, is it this one? Hang on, hang on. That is so weird. I don't know why it's not picking it up. Yeah. Let's do that. Uh-huh. Hi, there you guys are. See? This is how... Now you all are learning to be streamers. We're learning together. Yeah! Alright. Let's go... That's too small. Let's go 400. Hey. How are you all doing? That might be too big. Alright, let's do that. Right. Oh. You know what? The professionalism isn't about, like, it being right the first time. It's about the ability to adapt, alright? And that's what we're doing, is adapting. Get rid of that. Oh, see? And then let's do this to make it look pretty. Let's add a... Uh-huh. Yeah, if you wanted professionalism, you'd pay for Netflix. Let's see here. Nice. Welcome, Blue. Thank you for your contributions. Let's see that. Let's go back here. Oh, look at that. Look at... Oh, god damn it. There's a line at the bottom. Hang on. I know. People are like, this is the shit we sponsored. Hey, look at that. Yeah, it's so weird. Like, Restream can be such an awesome tool, but like, there's so many times where it just like absolutely goes bonkers. Sorry about Twitter chat. Wow. Yeah, no, I'm not sorry about that. Sorry for Twitch chat, but we may not be able to see this stream. It is a game jam, but for making dungeons. That's correct. And in this stream, we're going to be kind of talking about a couple things, answering some questions about the jam, and showing you guys. I just got the Free League shit in, and wow, did they send more than I thought they were going to send. But first off, a real quick question. Have any of you all, whenever you were like trying to replace like light bulbs in your house or something like that, any of you all ever seen a light bulb that had these kinds of connections on the end of it? I know this is super weird and off topic, but like the light bulb in our closet went out, and I've never seen this one before. You have? Is this like common? It's like, the fuck, what do I even look for that? Like, they always look like... Here. Smaller, so not common. Yeah, see? I'm used to light bulbs having one of these things on the end, and I didn't know if that was just like a super American thing or whatever, but like, yeah. I know. Enthralling, interesting topics we have on these streams. It's a 2-pin? I just didn't know what the hell to look for. Like, we went to Target the other night because I was like, yeah, I'd really love to replace that light bulb in the closet. And then it was like, oh, fuck, what the hell are you? I showed it to the guy at Target and he was like, what? What? You have one for a desk lamp for a while. Interesting. So, first off, thank you to everybody. Oh, hey, what up, Tabletop Barnes? Thank you to everybody who signed up so far. Oh. Who the hell would that be? I have no idea. Maybe the lawn guy? Really? Would the lawn guy be showing up right now to mow the lawn? That would be just my luck. How many music teachers does it take to change a light bulb? I feel like like 1 and then 4 to correct their posture or something. Like, I don't, what's the punchline there? Wow, GU24 base 2. You think? No shit. This lamp adapter. That would be the actual. If you actually said, like, the serial number, I'd be fucking I would never go to Google again. Ever. How many D&D players does it take to change a light bulb? Me and my light bulb was. I would say, like, 1 and 19 to tell them how they're doing the rules for passive perception wrong. Okay, so I was going to show you guys just a little peek at, like, kind of some system neutral material. We were going to kind of talk about the overview as to, like, what we're looking for this dungeon jam. The submissions and all that stuff, so people can refer back to this. And then if there's some people that are over in the Discord, or like even here, if you got some questions about what all is going on, maybe you're still not super sure about signing up for one reason or another, just hit me up, feel free to ask, and I'm happy to answer any questions. So, starting off, how many Pathfinder players does it change the light bulb? I don't know, 30, because they're all gonna overanalyze the instructions. I don't know. Okay, now, first off, so really sick. I hit up Johan Noor, the graphic designer for Merkborg, and the Stockholm Cartel crew, after hearing about this, sent over so much cool shit. Alright, first off, Merkborg shirt. Alright, this is going to be going to the gold winner. This is part of that Merkborg, like, swag bag. Alright, it is a large. If you can't wear a large for whatever reason, let me know. I will keep this one, and then I will send you another shirt. Yeah. From there, they sent over a ton of patches as well. Their icon box, which is like kind of a bunch of like omens and like magic effects that are kind of like added to the game, relics, things like that. When did they start making that? The patches or the shirt? I'm not incredibly sure. There's a dark vision joke in there somewhere, yeah. Yeah, none, because everyone's got dark vision. Johan Noor. Now, there's only 2 copies of this, so I'm going to have to figure out how we get these out there. Johan Noor actually published a book of just, like, stuff that he made from October of 2023 that is all, like, Merkborg material. So, it's, like, there's a whole forest map, but it's, like, 30 days of creations for Merkborg, and I had no idea they had this zine, and I was like, oh, hell yeah. There's 2 copies of this. We're going to figure out, like, how that all, you know, goes out there and everything. Final day of signups, you thought we had until the 25th? No. That's to submit. To submit. The actual signups are open until tonight at 9 p.m. Yeah. Now, they also sent over some of their zines that they, this is the Cut Purse zine that they printed. I think it was just for their, like, Europe tour of, like, going to a bunch of cons. So we've got 3 copies of the Cut Purse zine. Blah, 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 blah. That's got material for Death in Space, Merkborg, Cyborg, Nobunga's Black Castle, which is like, it's like a, you know, Wuxia or Wuxia Merkborg hack. And it's the first time that there's been any material printed for that in English that's in this book right here. So sick. Sure that zine seems kind of thick. It is a little bit thicker. Yeah. Looks like it's probably about 60 pages. But yeah, it's, I mean, it looks like it's glue bound. So it's probably not a zine per se, but yeah. From there, they sent over a copy of Cyborg, 2 copies of Merkborg, and then a Merkborg DM screen. And this one's going to go out to the gold winner. Okay. So we've got copy of Merkborg, Cyborg, another copy of Merkborg. We're going to figure out how that all is getting distributed. And now, let me talk about the cool shit that I got in from Free League. They sent over, and I literally just got this in the mail like 20 minutes ago. Oh my god. It's funny because this makes mine kind of look a little bit faded now. We have 3 copies. 3 copies of Into the Odd that are going to get sent out. We had a little bit of a miscommunication. It sounds like maybe they didn't have the 4 that I thought that they were going to send in stock. So they've only sent 3, and I'll work out something with whoever doesn't get a copy. We'll get that figured out. So they sent 3 copies of Into the Odd. I think it's going for like 40 or 50 bucks now. So I was like, holy shit, thank you guys. And then what I originally thought was just going to be a Dragonbane core box set. Dude, Free League, you all fucking spoiled me, alright? Oh, come on. There we go. This is all going to the gold winner, by the way. So the Dragonbane dice set. We have the Dragonbane Game Master screen. You guys see my light up over there. A copy of the Dragonbane Bestiary. And the Dragonbane core box set. Dude, Free League. You all fucking rock. Alright? Like, oh my god. For this being the first time I've ever done one of these things, and to have so many people that were like hopping on board, like, holy shit, this sounds awesome, like, let's just send you a bunch of stuff. Thank you guys so much. Whoever is that gold winner, dude, please read through this if you haven't already. Holy crap, this is, I think Dragonbane's going to be one of those games that, like, eventually we may hit a path where if it's like, oh, okay, well, we're going to go out to the, like, game store and play TTRPGs. People are going to be playing, like, Pathfinder, D&D, Dragonbane. Yeah. Am I Free League sugar baby now? Yes. If those beautiful Swedes want to send me any more shit, hey, you know what? I will rep a shirt anytime you all like, you know? We'll talk. Hey, baby. I'll sign up for Duolingo, all right? I'll learn Swedish. All right. You hope there's a second edition of Dragonbane. You wish there was a tad more depth on character creation, but you love the gameplay. I actually really like how low it is. I think that if it were any more complex, it would kind of lose a bit of its charm. I like how quick it is to just pop in and play a character, right? I think that a lot of Dragonbane's depth really comes through in the combat rather than like this big network of a vast character sheet, you know? So let me see here. Got all that out. I've got to figure out. I really need to figure out a way to like store this and keep it safe. It's up here on my desk and I drink coffee like habitually. And I'm just very, very worried about ruining any of these copies of Into the Odd or Merkboard or whatever. Oh, wait, did they stop? Oh, no! Oh, okay. So, this is there's nothing wrong with these books, but these look like a later print because the first edition print comes with a pink book ribbon.
Sugar baby now.
Thank you, Blue, for the $2. They used to come with a pink bookmark ribbon, and these don't. But trust me, whenever we're talking about system neutral content, this is like the game that I feel like played a part in kicking a lot of that off. You know, Cairn, Knave, there's a lot of these games that helped to like kind of open up the territory for like how adaptable dungeons and adventures could be. But I mean, Into the Odd, leading into like Merkborg and all that, like it's crazy how impactful this game was, really. Better ship it to you so you don't offend any of the winners. Ah, maybe, yeah. Wait, but you're into this thing. Move aside, Mega Milk Sure Free League is now the new hotness. Yes. Just get me 2 of the lotuses, like right here, please. Yeah. For real though, like a lot of you all, the thing that I'm excited for is that there's a lot of people that signed up that were, oh, and look, now Restream wants to work. Thank you, Restream, for just absolutely fucking up my chat today. Hang on. Hold up. Restream. Come on now. Do we trust Restream or YouTube chat? Hang on, let me see. Wait. Let's see the delay in this. Someone in chat say something. Anything. Get ready, chat. Go. Just say whatever you want. Well, I mean, within, you know. Okay, so it is actually updating. Okay, test. Maybe we will shut down the YouTube one just to be sure that we have Twitch included as well. Okay, maybe it just took it a while. Thank you, Blue. Okay. There, so now we're looking back to like what we usually do. Everything feels fine, right? I think. Okay. So wishing you luck with the game. Oh, thanks, Gavin. You love to join in the prices look sick, but you're literally heading into a crammed work week, and there's no way you'd be able to make. Oh, it's all good, man. I really, really want to do more of these because the response has been so cool. Yeah, it's meant a lot. Davis on the first questions for dungeon design. I mean, we could just take some of those because I don't have a whole lot planned other than just kind of talking about all this and doing the Q&A and whatnot. Let me see here. Okay, Q&A. And I will actually make this a doc that we'll share here. You do this again, and you probably jump onto it. I will. We're gonna see, cause Dungeon Jam. Let me see here. 520. Okay. So, all right, I'm going to share this with you all. And you all will be able to see this doc as I go through and edit it. Let me see here. Yeah! I'm going to share this with you guys. Okay, so let's hear it. We need. You said that you never had done anything like that. You're excited and scared at the same time. Oh no, don't be like at all. There's like no reason to be intimidated. This is a fun, like, just writing exercise. It's meant to just get the creative juices flowing. And we'll do that. All right, let me hear it. Give me some questions. Let's see what's up. I know that the system neutral thing is like, it can feel a little bit daunting, and that it's like, I think if you've written a lot of 5e material and you're used to looking at that, it can feel like I have so many bases that I really need to cover here. I just want you all to kind of see something. Page limit. I mean, I would try to keep it concise. You know, that's the big deal. Like, is there a page limit? No. Here, let me. But try to keep your concept as concise as possible. Let me show you. This is this adventure that I've got right here. One in ENnie, okay? So this is Halls of the Blood King by Diogo Nogueira, who, it turns out, is going to be one of the judges on this thing. Oh! First time I've been able to announce one, I think. So, Diogo Nogueira is a legend as far as like adventure design goes, especially in like this kind of a format right here. This is how big this adventure is, okay? This is a 30-page adventure, but also did a lot of work with Justine Jones on this. Am I getting that right? It was Justine Jones, right? Yes, thank you. Who has done work for Magic the Gathering. So all the artwork is just like, oh, crazy gorgeous, right? But if you'll look, see, this isn't like Shea Peku level, like crazy cartography here. It's enough to give the general idea as to like how big is the room, etc., right? There's some labels for like expected encounters that are going into these rooms, but other than that, it's like numbers, what door is locked, what door is a secret. Yeah, usually a lot more. Oh, so where do you sign up? It's down in the description. Yeah. Do we need to add any? Do we need to add any fighting encounters, or is sticking to 5-room dungeon format enough? If you have an interesting idea where it's like, I mean, combat is an expectation for a lot of these games, but if you have an idea where you're just like, I want to try to push that to be exciting enough for just interaction and exploration, you could go for it. I'd be interested to hear what like maybe some of the other like judges thought on that. But in general, we're just kind of used to expecting, you know, for especially for like a dungeon jam, like that kind of there's sort of a boss expectation in a way, right? Do there need to be maps, or is a simple point crawl representation enough? Point crawl representation is absolutely enough. Hang on. Do we need a map? Sorry. Is a simple point crawl representation. Point crawl maps are totally cool, dude. Okay. So, going in on here. Oh, what even a jam? I thought signups were for the days. Did you just submit whenever the 5 days, or is it a sprint through the specific sessions, or what? So, the concept of a jam, it's like about making something creative within a short span of time, right? Typically within a limited framework. So, in this one, the challenge is to make a dungeon that is system neutral, and it has to adhere to like the 5-room dungeon structure, right? And by system neutral, this is kind of like getting the idea out there of like, hey, you can make content that isn't just specific to one system. That's like part of the whole intent here. So, is it international? You need to be signed up, but you're from the UK, so you're hoping it's okay. If you're cool with paying for shipping, we can work that out. There are some countries that I know that there could be some fiddliness with it, with shipping and all that. If that situation happens, we'll figure that out when we hit that road. About the only one that I've heard of there maybe being any issues with is Canada, but we will see if that happens. We'll figure it out. Should the presentation be as if we were publishing it, or can it be self-aware that it's for a jam with the judges and guidelines? So my recommendation there, I'm sure, bro, you're Canadian. Why? We'll double check on it. Okay, we'll check. I'll actually mark that down as a thing that I need to be looking into like tonight, and I'll be able to get you guys an answer tomorrow. Art and assets. Okay, so you're talking. Okay. Should the presentation be as if we were publishing it, or can it be self-aware that it's for a jam with judges and guidelines? I'm not sure exactly what this is asking, but what I would say is like, keep it readable, keep it clear. Unless you absolutely know what you're doing is objectively better than some of the pre-established looks and execution of this type of material, try to stick to the template. That's what I would say. There's that needs to be an apostrophe. I'm aware that's probably bugging a lot of people. Okay, so yeah, keep it readable, keep it clear. There's formulas that work for this stuff, okay? And like I said, this one right here, this one won an ENnie, and I just want to show you guys how absolutely clean it is. Wording descriptions. Let's say, okay, so there's 3 rooms right here on this spread, right? And some artwork and a map. And like the room descriptions are like this section right here. This is a stat block, right? Like, or sorry, this is a stat block. This is basically like a dramatis persona, where like it's giving you a bit of intel as to like, oh, music's a tad too loud? Shit! My bad. Sorry, one sec. So like this is giving you like information on this NPC right here. This is their stat block. The room description is this right here, right? Like, that's it. Room description over here. This is telling you about another NPC right here. This is telling you about a specific, like, interaction in this room. Otherwise, the room description is, like, right there, right? Yeah, Merkborg has great adventure layout, too. Yes. It wasn't until Jake Coffin started shredding. Oh, my bad. Like the exact one I referenced. Are there any adventures that use the system agnostic style that we can take a look at? Yes. Let me scroll down. Okay, cool. So this is Dogtooth Valley by Nate Trim. So Nate Trim is another one of the guys who's like a pretty damn big name in the like system agnostic and like system neutral movement. Dogtooth Valley is probably his most famous creation. So like going down through here, by the way, I love the rawness of this stuff. I love the fact that it's just like, this is what the sketches look like. Okay. It doesn't matter that it's like not some crazy incredible production like a WotC thing or whatever. This right here is more than enough information to tell us what's going on with this thing. Okay. D10 random encounters. This is for the hex crawl side of it, right? Now you don't have to have a hex crawl, by the way. We're doing a dungeon design, right? There's a little bit of like intro into this adventure, whatever. A couple different like leads that they could be taking, you know? Look at this map. Look at this map. You see how cake this is? Like, this is cake, all right? Are we keeping things uniform? Oh, wait. Is there a preferred style or template for the layout? Not exactly, but, like, I provided a guide that should at least sort of imitate the sort of look that, like, Johan Nohr was using on Merkborg. That's in the Google Doc. And I think that's also what like Skull Fungus and a lot of the like Stockholm Cartel guys are using. Is it suggested you use more generic monsters in order to keep the system neutral? You do what you would like. If it is like a unique thing that you create, here I'll actually write that in. Q. Is it suggested to use more generic monsters in order to keep its system neutral? If you create a unique monster that isn't in Basic Expert, it's highly suggested to provide a stat block. Cool. Okay, so Dogtooth Valley. In talking about the room descriptions here, look at how light this is. This is for entry 1 right here, the entry hall. Lit braziers in the corners. Four unpleasant oil paintings of skeletons holding an apple, kissing, boxing, playing guitar. That's it. That's the thing. Whenever you're starting to look at like a lot of 5e stuff, the like read the description aloud kind of thing is just eating up page count, and like it just really doesn't need to be there. Trust your GMs to like interpret what's on there and suit it for what like their table really needs, you know. So we can have random encounter tables. Yes. Yeah. And hey, what up, Onyx? You're better at making more detailed maps on Dungeon Draft. Trying to use a dungeon scrawl would actually be harder for you. Will detailed and color maps get negative? I just highly suggest keeping it like kind of clean and condensed, like something like this. It's not a negative, but whenever there's so much detail that it looks kind of muddy, a thing to keep in mind here, right, is a lot of guys that do this kind of stuff, they are not printing in big books, right? They're printing in zines. So the reason why a lot of them opt for this black and white thing, it's not just like, oh, well, we're saving money on, you know, we're only printing in black and white or whatever. It's that they know that it's so small in a zine that it needs to be black and white for clarity, right? I know that there were... Oh, yeah, here you go. Here's like a skull fungus map. Hang on. Here we go. That's like what skull fungus does, and skull fungus is like one of the biggest cartographers in like the whole TTRPG scene. So this is highlighted with the different areas that it refers to, right? Those are darker than the other ones. See, as it goes through. God, his illustrations and just like, yeah. It does look nice, right? Let me see. Where's another one? Get me another map. Okay. This is for Death in Space. Right? Black, heavy, heavy black, and then just the map. Pretty bland white, right? It looks better because they know that, like, oh, okay, well, if this is going to go into print, and we put a lot of details in on the map, this could get really muddy. So it's not so much a like, yeah, oh, okay, here we go. See? Look at that. Enough detail to know what else going on. Really, like, if you get into the weeds of it, of like, there's a treasure chest in here, so we have to draw that treasure chest or whatever, like, if it hurts your readability, you should probably cut it. So instead of looking at it on your computer screen like this right here and going like, yeah, okay, I need to make sure that like they can tell that this chest only occupies this much space over here. Nah, man, like, you need to see what that's going to read like out to like here, you know? I would even say like, I mean, Nate Trim did fine on that. And like, yeah, this is all good. Some portions of it might feel a little bit busy, but like, this is absolutely readable out to like a distance, right? Onyx Path Publishing. Yeah, they are contributing some physical books. They're the ones that did Mage the Ascension. They've done some Savage World stuff. Yeah. So we're assuming A5 print or something then. We're not assuming anything for the print. No. We're just making stuff. We're just gonna make stuff, right? So, as far as the page count goes, that is not really the big important thing here. This is just an exercise in writing stuff and just creating stuff. Yeah. The community created example dungeons included John Ford's 5-room dungeon book are fully described in collections of paragraphs with no diagrams. Could this be an acceptable format for this jam? Hang on, let me... I'm gonna copy paste that over. Because I just thought of an easier way to do this. Here we go. Let's do plain text. Okay, the community-created example dungeons included in John Ford's 5-room dungeon are fully described in collections of paragraphs with no diagrams. Would this be an acceptable format for this jam? I would need to look at those again, but I'm gonna kind of reiterate conciseness. Is key. Figure out ways in which you can convey the idea for the GM to interpret rather than hold their hand. Does that make sense? So our goal should just be to make kick-ass dungeons that's digestible, and everything else are just tiebreakers. I mean, there is going to be, like, the judges do have a criteria. We're looking at like how it adheres to the 5-room dungeon formula, right? Like there's some basics of like, yes, does it check these boxes, etc., 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 right? If you come up with an idea that's just like, oh, you know, whatever, that final execution on the idea, if there's some, I thought about doing awards for like best traps. You know, like, was there something that was just like truly, truly innovative? Where can we see the judges' criteria? I don't have it typed up right now. So like if they have like something that's particularly funny that like, you know, really gets, yeah. That style and that voice that comes through in your creation is going to be a huge, huge thing. Most of those could probably have a point crawl diagram created for them, which they, yeah, no, totally, yeah. Man, with all these storms, it's where it's like my allergies are just getting worse. So, let me see here. Okay. What else we got? You're most likely going to include maps. So just wanted to see if there's any hard requirements in terms of visual aid. Okay. Copy paste that. Okay. So we're gonna wind up going a little bit like and this is gonna sound like how do I put it? Here. Conciseness is key. Bingo bango. Too much detail, yeah, can look murky and pulls away from the spirit of GM interpretation. There we go. You're giving GMs a prompt for emergent gameplay. So remember to keep your creators restrictions? That's not exactly it. I'm trying to think of like what's the right word here. Keep your railroads as light as possible. Extreme detail can make for railroading the anxieties over continuity. There we go. Okay, that was a lot to say, kind of a little here, but conciseness is key. Too much detail can look murky and pulls away from the spirit of GM interpretation. You're giving GMs a prompt for emergent gameplay, so remember to keep your railroads as light as possible. Extreme detail can make for subconscious railroading via anxieties over continuity. Does that make sense? If they're like, if I don't describe that, like, there's this box over here in this, like, dungeon crawl on the map, and I don't know what that box is, probably should get rid of the box, right? If it's important enough to go on the map, okay. If it's important enough that you need to write it down in the description for the dungeon, it's important enough for you to put it on the map. Maybe, right? Even then, I don't think it's all that important. Give them the room size. You can tell them the general area where it is, you know? But other than that, yeah. Do we need to be serious in our ideas, or can we do something silly, much like Honey Heist, something more lighthearted? You can go silly with it. In fact, there's a whole genre of this called absurdism. And one of my favorite writers that's doing these kinds of adventures is Brad Kerr. Brad Kerr is the writer of... Boom! Temple of a Thousand Swords. Okay? If you played in any of the Vagabond demos that I was doing here recently, you ran through this one. This is, in my opinion, ask anyone that I ran through this. This dungeon's fucking hilarious. All right? You can absolutely do that. It is absurdist fantasy. Go for it. Like, absolutely. Do it to it. Let's hear, like, go for it. This... I consider a... % welcome. Here we go. Awesome. Hell yeah. Alright, let me see here. Maybe a long shot, but after the jam is over, would you have a stream where you go through the most interesting bits of the dungeons with winners and runners up? Which interesting is a TTRPG design. Yes. Whenever this is like wrapping up, I'm going to circle back through with the judges and try to arrange a time where we can all live stream together. And whenever we're doing that, we're going to go through and talk about just some of the like highs of the, the jam and whatnot. But yeah. How do I feel about certain gimmicks, like a key mechanic / theme to the dungeon? How do I feel about them? Can you be even a bit more specific? When does vague become lazy? Hang on. So, when does vague become lazy? For example, a player who gives an offering of coins gains a temporary boon to their hit points. Okay, so this would be vague to the point of, like, I don't know what this is really giving in here, because this temporary boon to their hit points is, like, too abstract, right? With a lot of the system neutral stuff, we're essentially kind of... Hang on. When you neglect key pieces of widely accepted mechanical expression. For example, in your question, you detailed temporary boon to their HP. This could mean like 1d8 bonus to maximum hit points, or I guess to hit points, for 1 hour in basic expert, maybe, right? 2d6 temporary hit points in 5e. Honestly, like 2 health, or I guess it's like 2 into the odd, etc. So like, I would just say go for like, what are they getting in here? Okay, so like a temporary boon to their hit points. I would just say like, maybe go, maybe think about the system neutral mechanics, such as hit dice, and solidify your designs around those. For example, extra hit points equal to their level. Hit die total D8 for 1 hour, 1 shift. They like these are all the whole like time thing is still kind of getting, it's a little in flux where people are still trying to figure out like, do we universally agree on a specific like time coding in here? I personally think that like David Black with Black Hack is the one who just really nailed, you know, range bands, time abstractions, and things like that. So yeah. Right, but how do you balance that hit point numbers for D&D and Dragonbane together? So here's the deal. Dragonbane is not a BX derivative system. It's actually derivative of basic role-playing. So Dragonbane, sadly, isn't absolutely system neutral, but you can still give people the kind of like vague idea for what happens during this adventure and have it reference Dragonbane monsters, right? Like, that could absolutely be a thing that you just go, okay, well, instead of worrying about like, do I have to make a Dragonbane monster for this? Say that it's like harpies, right? Well, they definitely have harpies over in Dragonbane. It's a dragon that's over here. Okay, well, everybody can look that up in their respective games, you know. Coming from a perspective of designing a tool for emergent gameplay and other books tables is useful to determining what level of detail is necessary. Yeah. Yeah, I think that this is a... and again, it's like, we're almost designing toolkits here, not exactly like full-on adventures in a way, right? So it's about like doing this stuff with a light touch, enough to like give the idea for what's happening, and not just say solidly, like, I had a tweet the other day that was talking about this issue with a lot of us that were inspired by like Zelda dungeons, right? So Zelda dungeons have okay. Anytime that you're looking at a video game dungeon and you're like, that would be really cool to do in tabletop. How do I do that or whatever? Oftentimes what I'll see whenever people like kind of approach it from this thought are very linear dungeons where the path isn't so much a path. It's like there's almost like a straight line, and then suddenly there might be a small branch right here, and then it just sort of like all roads lead back to the boss, right? Whereas for most like dungeons that are kind of fitting for this format, this branch is kind of happening all the time. And I just wanted to check something real quick. Okay, we're good. So I was trying to see if there was a way that I could possibly do that over here. You know what? Maybe there is. Hang on a second. Can I like visually represent this somehow? All right. I'm going to show you guys one of the most helpful things that you can do whenever you're studying a dungeon, okay? We're going to look up somebody in chat, give me a dungeon from a video game. It has to be one that I played. Give me a dungeon from a video game. I'm going to look at a playthrough of it. Hopefully it would be like pretty short. The Water Temple. How did I know that that was going to be the one that people talked about? Okay. Water Temple. This is part of why I really, really like what Micah Anderson was doing in Bastards, okay? Alright. ENnie Colossus from the Shadow of Colossus? That is not really a dungeon, unfortunately. Okay. Is it gonna look good? There we go. Alright, so I'm gonna pull up the Water Temple. I know. We don't have you guys over here just yet. Hang on. Bleak Falls Barrow from Skyrim. I did do an analysis of Bleak Falls Barrow. But Bleak Falls Barrow is actually one of the more railroady ones. It is a pretty decent example, but let me do Water Temple real quick, because this would just be an interesting one. Okay, because I don't think I've ever talked about this one. This is also a 45 fucking minute long dungeon. Wow. Okay. We're gonna 2x this bitch. Okay, so that's how you get in, right? Let me see here. Wow, is that gonna be that tiny the whole time? Okay. So one thing real quick. By the way, the 5-room dungeon on this has already started. Okay. So let me show you what I mean here. So we have entry point, right? I think that this dungeon is more easily understood going from south to north. So I'm gonna try to do this from left to right. Okay. So this is like room 1, right? So this is our entrance or guardian, okay? Easy. Bingo bango, right? You hit this thing right here. And what do you know? Oh, the entrance opens, right? So there was a guardian here. For a lot of you all that haven't played Ocarina of Time, which, like, if you haven't, what the hell are you doing? What's happening right here is this is the guardian to it, because there's 2 things that are required in order for you to even enter this temple. So you must have done something else already. So number 1, we know because Link was using it right there, is the hook shot. What's the second one? Let me hear it. Anybody? This is our entry. We'll call this the Guardian, right? Guardian. You know what? I'm just going to type that. I'm not going to... Yeah. Anybody? What did we already just see happen? There were 2 items that you need to have. Hey, there we go. The iron boots, right? If you don't have the iron boots, guess what? You can't get in there. Oh. I have not used Windows Paint in so long. All right. Yeah. Well, yeah, I think you need the water-breathing tunic, too. Okay, so the Guardian, really easy. At the front entrance, you have to have the hook shot. Hit the thing. Boom. You get into the dungeon, right? Cake. All right, let's do this on. So we get in. All right, we are now in a new chamber. So let's do this. Can we do... Why can you not draw a straight line? Here, let's do this. I just want to draw a straight line by holding shift. That's all I really want. Paint, come on. And then let's do you as black. If I hold control, will you go from center? If I hold alt, will you go out from center? If I hold shift, will you... If I hold control and shift, will you go out from center? If I hold shift, will you be even? You will be even if I do that. Okay, so at least there's one thing you understand. Okay, whatever. Here, we'll do this. We'll make these look good, or at least decent. That isn't a fill? Whatever. Whatever. You know what? Look, Photoshop has spoiled me, okay? We're gonna do this. Oh my god, forget it. We're erasing the whole thing. Okay. So the Guardian, that is our entrance. Next up, we have this chamber right here, okay? So far, all we really know is... well, that's what it says, but it's not actually doing it, which is a frustrating thing. So far, we know that we have this chamber right in here, right, that we're currently in. How many rooms can this go out to? Boy, this is a huge branch right here. So there's one door right there. Oh, there's another entrance over here. Okay, so we know we have at least 2. Right? Let's do this. Sure. Sure. All right. So you see the princess? Yeah! Oh, Harkins? Forgot the vows we made to each other to see years ago. What is it with, like, mermaid fantasy? And... oh, if you Google image the water temple layout, it's insane. I'll probably take a look at that here in a second. My father and the other Zoras. I don't know what it is about, like, mermaid people always, like, trying to marry everybody. It seems like such a... I don't know. It's such an odd trope. But, like, I see it everywhere. Like, it's even in Temple of a Thousand Swords. Okay, swim, swim, swim. Right, later. Okay. So now I know that there's another entry over here to go into some other chamber. So we're going to go, like, this is south. All right, sure. There's another entry over here. We don't know where that one goes. We know from going up, there's another... okay. So now we have a room over here. This is a combat challenge, right? Oh, come on. All right. And there's going to be another room out of here. Now, it is a combat challenge, but this is one of the really cool things about Ocarina of Time. Is that at some points, whenever you do the combat challenge, it's not always a literal chest that it gives you, but sometimes the monsters themselves are the way that you get through, right? Like, maybe you actually paralyze it, and then it will stay on the switch. Alright, so now we have an interaction challenge happening right here. Breaking down Zelda dungeons into their layouts is insane, yeah. Now we have this ocarina kind of puzzle here, because we've all seen this a whole lot. We know, oh, okay, if I play this melody, something magic happens. Oh, what do you know? I learned a new interaction. I can change the level of the water by interacting with this right here. It's safe to say that at this point, if we're following the 5 dungeon rule, yeah, here we go, 5 room dungeon rule, we are very securely in our interaction phase of this right in here. John 4 calls this something other than interaction, if I've got that remembered right. You don't think about it necessarily when you're exploring, except for just the swift admiration for the game design, but when you actually sit down and lay it out, yeah, oh yeah, they're nuts, yeah. So I think it's safe to say that we're actually seeing the interaction happening right in here, right? So we had our thing that was like barring entry. You go and you get these items. This is what allows you to get in and even like interact with the dungeon overall, right? So now we're in our... let me see if I got this right. 5. Because I've called it interactions, and then I just like blank, and then I'm like, okay, so puzzle or role-playing challenge. Okay, so we are securely in room 2 right now. For all purposes of this. Now. So this room could get us to another. Oh, let's see here. Sure. I don't know where this one's going to lead. Let's just go here again. This room that he's currently in now. Look, this is not going to be the prettiest thing in the world, all right? But it's serving our purpose. So what you're seeing right now is I'm just kind of plotting out the points of this dungeon for what they kind of represent in the story beat, right? I'm not necessarily thinking of making a detailed map here or whatever. All I need to know is like what chunks are we at for like a story map for the dungeon. So this is looking at a, yep, roleplay or exploration interaction. There's a puzzle right there that leads into a combat. So we'll just do this because I don't think that this room is going to go anywhere except for back. Maybe. You get a key. And he's going to have to go back, so he's right here now. Going back. Oh, actually. Here's the funny thing. This room actually led all the way back. Oh, wait. That was actually this room. Aha! I see what was going on. Hang on. And then this. Yes. I'm going to correct this before I mangle the interpretation. Now, this right here is the keyed door that we hadn't seen him actually go through. Let's get rid of these two over here. Okay, so that's how that worked. That section right there just worked out, right? This goes back to here. Because the water level is lower, goes back into here, and now we're going into a different chamber. This is a completely other side. So, this is still on the lower segment. Let's just actually bring this down. Like, oh, that's copy. Look, I've done Photoshop for years, and it feels like I don't do paint, but like maybe once every decade. Now... Oh, wait, yeah, we need this other room down here. Okay. We have an interaction right here. I know if I use the bomb. Bingo, bango. I can go into this other chamber. And... okay. Let's just say this over here. It's right up in here. This led to another chamber, which is the one that we're currently in. Right? What do you know? We still have more puzzles and, like, I mean, what's a roleplay challenge in Zelda? It's not. Yeah. Okay. Put back on the iron boots so you can go back through. And now that the water level is raised, so we're going back to this right here. And now we're going up. We're in this right here. And this is going to go back to that chamber. Mm-hmm. Okay, push this through. We're going to have another... okay. So we have this other chamber over here. This is another puzzle. Yep. This is just a dexterity puzzle. Go to this chamber. Another puzzle. Damn, that is a super fast way to do that. Honestly, the menuing is the worst part of this whole... it's not even that the layout is all that crazy confusing. It's that the menuing is so annoying and switching back and forth for the boots. Is this a new chamber? No, he's back here. So we're going to go back into this area. Right, here we go. Now, he's going into here. Alright, so now we're going to see where this one goes. Interaction. Oh? Oh! Awesome, awesome, awesome secret. Okay. That is a great little secret entry right there. Okay, so now we're gonna have a combat. And this is gonna be this chamber right here. Bingo, bingo. This dungeon is huge. Okay, so he's up in another area. I don't know, we'll just do this. This gets you a key. And he's back up over in here now. Yep. We're over here. I thought we were. Hang on. Actually, we're not. This is another entry to get back over into here. Okay. Am I crazy, or was that back to the spot he just came from earlier? Right? Okay. Because the water level's different now. Is it? Yeah, because this room is the one that raised it. Uh-huh. So now he's gonna go back through... Which room is this? Nope, not that one. Okay. Is that this path? No, because there would be a bomb at the end. I think that's down here. Alright. I'm pretty sure that's right here. I think. Then we have another key. Yeah, honestly, the dungeon design isn't bad. It's just a matter of like how obnoxious it is to menu to get the boots off and on. Okay, we have yet another branch coming up in this one. Let's say... Okay. We actually have another one. Let's see here. Let's do this. Oh wait, shit. All right, here. You come up here. I am. Right. Right. You're not sure many people would agree, but you think that the adult Link dungeons count as mega dungeons? I think the Forest Temple one isn't really what I would call a mega dungeon, but they're definitely much more like intense. Yeah, there's a lot more involved with the adult Link dungeons, yeah, than the Kid Link ones. Yeah. So we're up here. Okay, there's another thing that we've learned. What? Usually it's that these mechanisms over here are the ones that are like triggering mechanical effects somewhere in the dungeon. It's not really a key to any like major secrets, but like this is a thing that I do like about some of the like D&D dungeons. Is how do you hint at traps or like how to interact with a thing without giving the secret away? Okay, so we're right here. This led to another chamber. Oh, come on. Get rid of you. There we go. Sounds a little like Sam Ho Hung, huh? Do we have a list of the judges yet? So I have been kind of waiting to see what the final entries were going to be like to see how many we would need. Because I have preliminary judges and then I have some of the final judges. As of right now, Diogo Nogueira is confirmed. There's a couple of other ones that I'm still kind of like emailing back and forth with. I do have some others, but we're still trying to see like so we're trying to see schedules for live streaming. We're also just trying to see like what the final entrance, like the entry list is going to look like. Because if I get like, I was thinking if I had like over 100 submissions, then I would need to hire at least like 1 or 2 preliminary judges to help me out with all that. So yeah, we're still working on that. It's dangerous to take this go alone. Okay, so that was right here. Coming up into here, we'll do this because I don't think that this branches off anywhere. Right here. Interaction. Actually, oh, this is gonna be a hot mess. Let's do this. I don't know how this is gonna work out. Hang on. Let's do that. Okay, and then all right, look here. This is just gonna have to look ugly, okay? This whole thing has to look ugly to get this all on one page. Let's see, roll at the shopkeep. You probably should not grab Destiny. Wait, you probably. Okay, so we have yet another room. Let's go here. Man, it's been like 20 years since I played this game. Okay, we have a new chamber. Here, come on, we'll do this. I don't know where things are gonna branch. But I have a feeling that we're I don't know, I got a subconscious kind of vibe that we are now suddenly in a different segment. What I'm curious about is what the trick or setback is gonna be. Because we're a little around that like halfway point. And honestly, Zelda dungeons are so strong with their puzzles that I don't even know that the trick or setback is absolutely required here, because that does feel fairly like TTRPG. That is a very cool mechanic for a video game dungeon. There you go. Alright, so now we're in another area. Yes! This is the trick or setback right here. Shadow Lonk. Alright, so how is this necessarily a trick or setback? Number one, you're not really expecting it. For video game wise, like, is there going to be some huge grand revelation in every single one of these dungeons? No, not necessarily. You know, did Amanda ever finish this game? She got hooked on Fallout 4 and has not gone back to this one yet. However, she did make it all the way to... She beat the Forest Temple as adult Link before she got another fix for Fallout 4. But she did, as soon as she learned Z targeting, it was a whole new ball game, right? Yeah. So we do have our trick or setback. I'm glad we picked this one because this is like one of my favorite like subversive mini bosses in the entire like Ocarina of Time. Although I can't really say I remember what you're supposed to do against Shadow Link. Is it just like a brawl to see like if you survive it? Is he fighting him with a broken sword? What? Wait, was the broken Begoron sword actually kind of decent? Is that the whole flashy aspect of this? He mirrors your movement, so you have to be unpredictable. Really? Like using the big Goron sword, huh? Yeah, I don't really remember that. What like the interaction of that boss fight was. So we have actually. Okay. So hang on real quick. So this is a pattern of a lot of Zelda dungeons here, and what they kind of do is there is sort of this trick or setback. Instead of doing the trick or setback, what they're kind of doing that's a bit more like, oh, okay, I grokked that, I see what's going on, is a mini climax revelation, okay? So this is having like a mini boss as your like trick or setback. That's a really common thing, especially after like Zelda paths, right? Or Zelda video games. This with like Shadow Link, I always really liked the way that they did mini bosses in Ocarina of Time. I think in Majora's Mask it was a not something I totally really remember a lot of in particular, but like it really did feel like Ocarina of Time had the mini bosses that just kind of had like a lot more oomph or like character to them, right? Mini climaxes are the only ones my wife gets. Tell your wife I'm sorry. So this trigger setback doesn't always exactly have to be a like we're gonna absolutely fuck over the players in some way. And I think that sometimes it can be a little bit easy to get lost in the idea that this needs to be something that greatly like penalizes them in a way. And I do like this twist on it where instead of it necessarily being this like your weapon has been stolen from you or like that thing that you just got, it turns out it's actually made of chicken shit. I don't know, right? You can have that goofiness with it, but I do really like this vibe of doing the mini climax or revelation in place of a trigger setback. I think it's an acceptable variant, and like, you know, the iron knuckle. Oh yeah, right. I want to say that they actually kind of emphasize this a bit more on Wind Waker. It has been 10 years since I played Wind Waker. I'm trying to remember. I need to go through and play that game again. God damn, that was a really good one. I always feel like that's gonna be like the Zelda that just doesn't get enough love, or appreciation, really. So we've had this mini climax and revelation with a trigger setback, right? This mini boss is actually a lot more like subversive than a lot of the other mini bosses in a way. This idea that like suddenly there's just Shadow Link. Oh, what? Like, what is that doing in here? And then it's like, oh, okay, well, I beat it. But like, seriously, what the fuck was that? Like, wait, what? I love those moments. I love those moments whenever you're doing a dungeon and then suddenly it's like wait, what? Like, the fuck was that doing in here? You know, that little twist is enough to like kind of ignite that like that fantasy awe and like curiosity for us. That it's like, what? Look, this is cool and all. I love the adventure, but explain that. You know? Let me see. Okay, so we are here, I believe. Song of Time reveals another path. And this path... Here, let's go... Swallowed by the vortexes. Okay, so this is going to a completely new path? I don't know that this goes back to the dungeon proper, right? Huh. Okay, so we're still over here. Oh. I was like, the fuck is he doing? We're still like kind of in this branch of like puzzle and role playing. This trigger setback, it was like a nice little diversion over there, but I think this room looks familiar. There was I don't know that this is the here, is it? Or down here? That looks familiar. He's actually here, I want to say. I could be wrong on that. We're going to figure out how to make this loop around. I think it looks like that. So we're back here now. We are down here. That was over here, I want to say. I think we're on the right path. It's the same room. Okay, so we're going back out over here and into here. Yes, here is where we are right now. No. Yes. I think that's correct. Okay, so this is back here. This is a newly open path. I think. Lincoln Ocarina of Time as a bard. Fair. Okay, so we are now... Well, he was on the 3rd or 4th floor. Was that a fuck up? That was a fuck up. Alright. How can we do this? So we know that we have another segment. What are you doing? Oh, shit. Was it like this? Right? No, don't do that. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we had a new area. Hang on, let me pull that back a little bit. Where was his blunder? Because there's going to be another area here soon. Okay, so that was the blunder. Or wait, was it? Hey, well, I don't think it was, actually. Because he had to get to the other side of that. That's interesting. I'm gonna assume that wasn't either. So he's already been into this chamber, and this is over here somewhere. Okay. We are firmly, like, way up above everything, if I'm recalling that right. This is going to loop back around here. I'm just going to leave that as a segment. Falling upwards, yeah. Okay. This is not a new chamber. Okay. Dude, like, what was going through their heads whenever they were making this thing? This dungeon is just so, like, over the top. Okay, so this is a different room. That... No, wait. He got to this from... Right. Down... No. Wait. That was... this chamber? I think? I don't know, at this point, look, we're just kind of like abstract. You're getting a good visual as to how fucking chaotic this can actually be. I'm sure there are way better dungeon maps out there than the one I'm making, alright? At the end of the system neutral guide, but it's not quite clicking for me. Wait. Probably a really stupid question, but when you say the deliverable must be a key dungeon map, do you... can you go through how it needs to be keyed? You can see the symbols at the end of the system neutral guide, but it's not quite clicking for me. That's kind of like detailing, like, directions, general, like, things that you need to know about the room, right? Like, I can list what lighting a room has in its written entry, but do you need to put this on the map too? No. If it's like, this is room 1, and then they refer to that as, like, they're going to refer to the key for everything that's in room 1, right? You don't need to put all those symbols on the map. Yeah. The fact that they got out unscathed. Please answer in chat watching stream from start. Where do we submit our things once completed? That's going to be in the Discord server. That will all go through there. The server in which the whole jam is happening is a private link that gets sent out whenever you register. So yeah, and all the submissions and everything will be handled over there. Oh, okay. Now, because we're almost at the end of this one. I think that was a second. That was a different chamber. Yep. All right. So we have another one coming up. Okay. Secret entrance. Huh. Then you get behind it and push it the rest of the way out, right? But not all the way, because then it prevents you from getting on the platform? Oh, who cares? Because you just push it on the button. Right. Gotcha. That's clever. You had an idea for a train heist 5-room dungeon, but won't have time to get it done for the contest. I'd be interested to see what you can make happen with a train heist one. Especially in how you could keep it, like, jaquazed and everything. I guess if it's, like, the different boxcars, they could, like, get to it from any point. I'd be really interested to see what you make work out with that. Okay, so we are in a different chamber now. This is another one. Or no, this is actually from earlier. This is the waterfall that leads into... Right? Or am I totally wrong on that? This dungeon's fucking nuts. Okay, we have another one. There's the boss key. That led back to here? Hang on. Unless this was a brand new chamber. I don't think this was a brand new chamber. Couldn't have been. Right? Because something just led all the way back to here. I don't know. We'll just do this. Sure. Can we get you... What? Paint? I don't know what you're wanting to do with that. Here. Sure. And then you go into the boss room after this one leads out through. Okay. Harkins, look out. It's a giant fucking fish, man. There we go. Climax. Oh, is that a water weird? Oh, I was thinking of the boss from Majora's Mask with the water temple, not this guy. That's interesting. That it's a water weird. Basically, I mean, it may not be that note for note. I think it's like an amoeba, but like... Wow. Is that how fast you can end that fight? No, there's got to be a phase 2, right? Wait, what? It's an aqua ooze? Wait, really? That fight can be over that fast? What? How did he... Okay. Is it that it couldn't get back into the water because of the way that he pulled it out? Oh. Really? And then you get on this side of it, and then... Wait, really? They're literally fighting you? Yeah, wow, what? Hey, what up, Ken? Speedrun strat is super easy. Huh, I did not know that. That's hilarious. Now, we're not watching speedruns. Nah. I'm trying to kind of analyze this a little bit. All right. And now we're going to have our revelation. Right? Oh, come on. So we get the heart piece. Boom, boom, boom. Right? So thank you to Harcoids 86's N64 hub for that. All right. So at the end of it, our 5-room dungeon structure, like we're seeing that this is applied in video games. We see this everywhere. This is a fundamental aspect of dungeon design. Like, this is a philosophy, not so much a extremely rigid structure, right? So we saw the majority of the rooms that were in here. Let me pull that back up. Okay, so a majority of the rooms that were in here are puzzles, right? Puzzles, roleplay challenge, some combat, yada, yada, yada. Revelation. And if you start to think that like adhering to this structure is boring and like who like no, I wanted to do something defy whatever. This structure's fine. It works, and the reason why people have been using this for years is because like we haven't gotten tired of it. We still really like this, you know. So don't feel the need to like absolutely do something, you know, game changing or what the hell ever. Just do something that it's like we're covering the basis of this to kind of get into the thick of this kind of a structure. And then later on down the line, start throwing in your twists, you know. So like with this one, we have our Guardian. Our Guardian is very, very simple. Front door lock. Boom. Here's where this is going to start to get really messy. Our interaction, our puzzle / role-playing challenge, okay? This, it turns out, is actually quite a big chunk. There. Right? Our trick or setback. This right in here. Our big climax. Let's do purple for that, I guess. And then resolution. Blue. Revelation, resolution, whatever you want to call it. Right. 5-room dungeon structure. And whenever you do this, like a point like this, it just kind of goes to show you like the networking of like not just the layout, but like whenever they're interacting with this like a jungle gym like that, it shows you that there's this one point that they can keep branching out from and like have all these rooms to just continuously explore. The problem though is that if you look at Zelda dungeon structure too much, there's one problem in particular that's going on here. Everything going out from one central hub isn't really great for TTRPG design. Reason being, whenever you get over here, Zelda dungeons rely so much on one key fact that Link must obey this certain rule, and that is every door requires a key. Every door that has a lock requires a key. This is not true of TTRPGs, right? So they can put you on more linear rails like this. We kind of can't with TTRPGs. So if you look at like the water temple here, this central hub, everything gets to branch out from that, but will eventually always keep looping back in on this. This is a deceptive railroad, okay? Because no matter what path you take, it's always going to lead back to this, which will eventually lead you back down this trail, right? This dungeon, you could also look at this as effectively, you know what, I don't want to delete too much of that. Sure, we've got the mod and everything. You could look at this dungeon as literally just here. After all that we just analyzed, like, you can just look at the dungeon as this right here. Everything, the Guardian goes to this hub connects to this over here, bingo bango, right? This is still a line. So what we would like to do is figure out how to, instead of doing this right here, I really love to try and make dungeons feel more like things like this. So we always know that we're going to have our Guardian, you know. Let's see what we can do. I like to try and do stuff like this. Right. Or maybe, sure. like weird. I like to try and think that maybe the players could get into an area from like any point. There is a... Where was this one? Aha, okay, I'm gonna keep talking about Brad Kerr here for a second. In Adventure Anthology 2, kind of talking about this concept here, planning for this can be a little bit hard. I want to give a better example than just an MS Paint sketch. BTTRPG. Where did I put this? This is in 1? I think this is in 1. Wrong. Okay, here we go. Where is the map for this? Okay, here we go. Now, this is a dungeon called the Golden Asclepion by Brad Kerr. And it's an Adventure Anthology 1. If you're thinking about playing this or whatever with a group, highly recommend you check this book out, by the way. But yeah, spoilers, I guess, for that. Now, it's not really spoilers, just like this is an example of how they can get into the dungeon. Okay. So this is the dungeon proper, okay? Now, the thing is, Brad built this in a way to where the players can get into it from multiple different entrances. Alright? So, like, up here, this is the most clear one. There's 2 big doors they can get into it, right? Okay. There's guards out in front, so, like, maybe the most obvious one isn't the best way. And that's the thing, is, like, your players are looking for options. They want to make choices, so give them a lot of choices, right? It turns out, if they go down south to the beach, there's actually a cave entrance that can get them in over through here. It also turns out, because Brad Kerr's a great writer like that, he accounted for all these rooms that are on the outside having windows that they can crawl through, right? He also accounted for another entrance in here. I want to see, chat, where do you think this other entrance is? I think there's about 8 different entrances into this dungeon in total. This is an absolute jungle gym. Let's hear it. It is marked on the map, by the way. And I really, I love this. Orbital drop. This marks right here a spot where there's like a sun, like a dome, like a domed window that the players can just drop in from the literally the goddamn middle of the dungeon. They can just drop in right there and be smack dab in the center of it, right? Like, I love that. I fucking love that there are like 10 different ways they can get into this fucking dungeon. Awesome. What this means is, Brad Kerr is not designing with the idea of a boss key in mind, right? The dungeon itself does not have like a gate that is preventing you from just running into the final boss or whatever, right? Yeah, it's so cool. They'll just use pass while they walk in. And yeah, so that's the thing is like, you can't really build dungeon structure around the idea that like your players will not have the ability to literally just walk through the fucking walls. So like get that like preventative barrier out of your mind. You know, you have to like free yourself of those thoughts of like, well, as long as they go down this path right here, it won't break it. No. Don't rely on that. Don't build in a manner in which it could be broken, right? Holding on to preconceptions like that are very much the cause of influence by like, the barriers like that, those kinds of like guardrails where you feel like I have to write it like this, and if they do anything weird, the dungeon can break. That's a fault of taking a lot of your dungeon design inspiration from like Zelda, Skyrim, Dark Souls in a way. Unfortunately, like one of my favorite game series of all time does have this pretty bad situation of like dungeons definitely just kind of feeling like I run in, do the thing. It just kind of feels like a big puzzle, right? Not so much this like I can see that thing and I can approach this situation from like any angle. Honestly though, you want to know of a video game that I really like that did take this more kind of jacquaized approach to it? Fucking Far Cry. Far Cry has their like outpost rating, like you have to go and take this base or whatever. And the thing that I love is that these bases are like, if you just want to pick people off by like sniping them or something like that, you can do that in Far Cry, right? Like it's not this huge buildup of like, well, we have to make sure that they can't get in through this over here. I have to make sure that I dispel all the things that they try to do over here. That's bad. That leads to a bad vibe for your dungeon. You want to give them as many ways that they can like plop in wherever, because whenever you do that, you start to like kind of shuck this anxiety of like, okay, well, they can do anything. Yeah, sure. Okay. They can do anything. Okay. So like, don't build your dungeons around the idea that I have to prevent them from doing things, right? It goes beyond just the idea of like, this is what we know is fun. And it literally starts to play on the core concept of the rules of improv. Build your dungeons around the idea that they should be saying yes and whenever they possibly can. You know, like keep building the dungeons with the idea that if a player tries something weird, we should try and let that work. You know, like if they want to climb up to the rooftop and find this fucking like sunlight that gets them into the base, cool. In fact, let it drop right into the motherfucking like pit where they're doing, I don't know, exercises or whatever the hell's happening in here, you know? Is it better to focus on just building believable / interesting locations then, and then coming up with what could work as a guardian here, instead of coming up with 100+ scenarios? Is it better to just focus on building believable / interesting locations than coming up with what could work as a guardian here? You know what's actually functioning as the guardian here? Like, there's a couple different guardians, sure. But, like, the real guardian, I guess, quote-unquote, to this, is, like, so at 11, this is actually, like, the den of a lion, I want to say. So, like, they would have to fight or figure out how to get past this lion that's down in here. In 4, there's 2 guards. Okay. Guess what's happening in every room where there's a window? There's more fucking people in there. This is a busy area. Like, this is a busy temple, right? Did we get a lot of signups for the jam? We did, actually. Let me see here. Right now, I mean, at least just the people that are like in the server. Oh yes, and you're allowed to have started already. Yeah. Trying to add. Yeah, I think we got around 30 right now. 17, 15. Yeah, we got 32 people. Hey. Hell yeah. Plus for it being the first time to have done like one of these, hell yeah. I'm stoked. Now, nice turnout. Yeah, especially because a lot of like game jam stuff. For it having an entry fee, I kind of knew that like that was going to make some people like hesitant and really participating. But like with everything it's taken to kind of put this one on, and like just I knew that like if there wasn't an entry fee, people were going to start asking questions instead of, well, how many can I submit? And then I'm like, well, I got to review all these. So I got to limit it to just one. Oh, okay, well, I'm going to sign up with a different account instead and just submit it. Right. So I'm like, I kept trying to think of different ways to logistically kind of keep it as cheap as possible, but also get like judges and everybody paid for their time and logistics and everything. But yeah, this was also a limiting factor. Was I was like, I knew if I made it free, there would be like 1,000 people signing up, and I would just like be out a lot of cash, you know. But by putting up the entry fee, that at least shows that people are taking it seriously and they're not just throwing a bunch of, whatever to see if they can just get free shit, If you're allowed to start it already, are we allowed to have finished it already and ask for some feedback in the Discord, or should we show it to the whole place? Show it whole piece. You still gotta. You can absolutely go talk to people, ask for critique over in the server and whatnot. If you already finished it, then what I'm assuming is that wasn't created for this jam. And that's part of the rules. Is people already started it like a week or two whenever I announced it, but it wasn't already made, right? Like, they made something for the jam, and that was the whole intent of this one. So as long as it's one that you're working on for the purposes of this jam, part of the whole jam process is sharing creations and just kind of getting ideas from other people and talking things out. It's a whole creative purpose, Yeah. Now get back here. Okay. So do we have some more questions? Okay, so if we have any more Q&As, I think I'm getting close to wrapping. Not that, I'm wrapping up, You all don't want to hear me rap, I promise. Is this over here? Can you ask about general dungeon design? Absolutely. I'm here to answer whatever. And I'm going to be doing these all week. I'm going to be in and out of live streams, just kind of talking about the process, checking in with people and seeing if they want me to look at something online. I'm fine with doing that as well. Hell yeah, there's 7 signups in the last hour. Rap stream win? Man, we're moving on. It was specifically created for this jam. If it's if you want to submit and just talk the critique and everything, that's that's what the whole server's there for. Wait, how do I feel about certain gimmicks like a key mechanic or theme to the dungeon? Somebody asked this earlier, and I didn't really hear the clarifier on that, so if that person's still around, feel free, because I was kind of curious about a little bit more specific on that, but yeah. Here's a simple and fun one. When should a room have a closed door? How many doors is too many doors? That's funny. When should a room have a closed door? How many doors is too many doors? So, the doors have a purpose. Dividing rooms. And spending a type of resource. Either keys, lockpicks, or time. I break down the door tends to result in wandering monster rolls. Keys require exploration to find. Lockpicks require skill and likely time. Right? How many doors is too many doors? Sure. How many doors is too many doors? There's... when the story doesn't need more doors. If your dungeon needs 1,000 doors, then 1,001 is too many. There you go. Was it me? What do I need clarification on? Oh, I don't. I was whoever asked. How do I feel about certain gimmicks, like a key mechanic or theme to a dungeon? And I'm not sure what that might have been asking. They all looked in on one another. What was it? Yeah. I think that this could actually be a really fun idea. And like, there's a room here. It has like 20 doors. Yes, that's already cool. I'm like, literally, me as a player, if I see that, I'm like, oh hell yeah, what are we doing? Like, you know, either that's potential, or I know for a fact. I'm like, dude, if there's like 13 doors, 12 of these are mimics. All right, yeah. Yeah, there's only 3 doors left in the city, and there's only 2 keys. Yeah, an idea for a mimic room. It was funny. I thought of, I think mimics are such an... I love the idea that a mimic is, you know, we always had the idea of like, oh, okay, well, this chest is actually a monster. That's like your most basic mimic usage, right? But like, I also love the idea of using very obvious mimics as a form of like subverting things. And like, it's its own kind of weird instilled version of horror. Best things you can do, hang on, honestly, here, with mimics, make them obvious, such as a coat rack in the middle of a room. Here, sure. Empty coat rack. A dresser facing backwards, facing drawers to the wall. What else do we have here? God, what are some really cool ones? A door with the handle on the bottom or top. I love the idea that like this is clearly an element of the room that is just like skewed, right? Like slightly wrong. And that being the signal of like what a mimic is in your campaign. Because either your players figure that out and then they start going like, they're paranoid and they're looking around at everything. That instantly makes them interested for details, you know? And then it turned into a blunt, yeah. Or you overpopulate a dungeon with them to the point that they're like, fucking everything's a mimic in here, you know? And if you're playing a system that isn't like 5e or like, you know, individual initiative, like, I'm sorry, Pathfinder, I gotta say, you know, if you're playing a system that can handle combat a lot quicker than something like 5e or Pathfinder, then like you having like 12 mimics in a room is not a huge deal, right? If initiative isn't this sudden like other game that we're playing, then this isn't quite as burdensome to run as it is in something like 5e or Pathfinder. This environment being alive and having multiple mimics around it is like, well, they're gonna fuck with it, and like, cool, if they hit it, they hit it. Like, that's the deal. Not like, okay, well, now we gotta roll for initiative, determine initiative order, and now this person's gonna go first. This mimic has 52 health points, and that means that this guy is gonna do 13 over here, this one's gonna do 13 over there, and then that one accidentally triggered this mimic over here, so now that one's in the initiative order as well. It rolled fairly low, so it's actually, actually, we're on initiative order 3 right now. It's not going to get its turn until next time, despite the fact that it is the one that touched this guy over here. So, yeah, there's so much to the, like, 5e, like, individual initiative system that just doesn't feel intuitive to, like, multi-creature encounters, especially whenever elements of that room can be dynamic, right? Whenever you go with group-based initiative, like Merkborg, or I'm going to throw my own fucking shout-out here, Vagabond, this shit just gets handled way, way more easy. Combats don't need to feel necessarily as static as they do in something like a D&D, because they won't be as overwhelming. And I know there's all going to be DMs out there that are like, hey, what do you mean? That's not overwhelming to me at all. You just need to get better. I'm like, okay, all right, sure, whatever. I think that there's easier ways to handle it than that, and it's not a skill issue. It's a system issue. You love Popcorn Initiative. It's so chaotic. If you've played Dragonbane, you would probably like that. I like the idea of what like Popcorn Initiative could be. I think the only system I've seen kind of pull it off really successfully was probably like the Year Zero shit. Just because like the deck of cards is a quick way to do that, you know. You basically entirely moved over to Mob Initiative for my 5e games. It's just so much more streamlined and gives players an option to combo better. Yep, exactly. Yeah, it seems like once like group initiatives started getting talked about a little bit more, finally we started seeing people that were like, oh, okay, we don't have to just assume that everyone's going to be an asshole and, like, hog up the space. Most people will work together. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Alright. Questions? Because if not, then I think I'm going to call that a first stream for this game jam. Everyone at my table hated group initiative until someone said, wait, I thought you were Final Fantasy fans. Click. Yeah. Hey, where do you submit stuff? In the Discord. Yeah, it'll be over in the Discord server. There will be another channel that opens up. It'll be like a forum. So you'll submit it over there. And those submissions will be, must be in by, what was that? The 26th. You previously answered the gimmick question? Oh, like with the water temple, like with changing water levels. Can you give an example of a good gimmick or a bad gimmick? Oh, easy. Okay. Give an example of a good gimmick and a bad gimmick. Changing water levels in the water temple in etc. There we go. I don't know why with etc. I always think it's ECT. Okay. Here, let's just do this. Okay. How do I feel about certain gimmicks? Yada yada yada. I actually think that there's one that I hate worse than the water temple from Ocarina of Time. This was from another Zelda game, and I want to say it was Wind Waker. There was like a wind puzzle where you had the Deku Leaf. I'm pretty sure this was Wind Waker. And I just remember that dungeon feeling fucking insufferably infuriating. And I don't remember exactly why. Now, how do I feel about certain gimmicks like a key mechanic or theme to the dungeon? Okay. Bad gimmick. Very cool idea. Terrible in execution at a TTRPG table. Especially in Theater of the Mind. Okay. Theater of the Mind play for Gears of Hate. Fucking atrocious. I love a lot of Tomb of Annihilation, in theory. This is probably some of the best adventure writing that they did for 5e right here. And I attribute a lot of my personal love for that for the fact that they had Pendleton Ward on the adventure writing team for that. The guy who made Adventure Time. And yeah, it really came through. If you want your recommendation on a stellar, Zelda dungeon design, check out Skyward Sword's Ancient Sister, and it's actually a really well designed theme. I need to actually play all the way through Skyward Sword. Yeah. A really, really good gimmick, though. Man. Yeah, I'll kind of flesh this one out here real quick. The idea is that players will be operating a panel which changes the rotation of 3 gears that serve as the foundation for separate rooms. While this allows entry into other chambers and seems super cinematic, it essentially requires not only a map, but a form of rotation and error checks, or I guess error checking for how the gears are laid out. I think that this could be a really interesting idea. I really do like the concept of the Gears of Hate. The problem I see with this is that it's not a great TTRPG gimmick. This is a very cool video game gimmick. But whenever you're trying to track what this is like, especially if you're playing in Theater of the Mind, this is one of the worst puzzles ever created. But I think it could be executed fairly well. It's just, I don't know that it complements the medium totally. I will say there is one that I really dug. What was this one called? Hang on. There was one that Goblins Without Pants, or Goblins Don't Wear Pants, was telling me about. Goblins Don't Wear Shirts, there we go. What was this dungeon? No, not that. Tomb of the Serpent Kings is really cool. This one did have a... where was this? Maybe, what was it? What was it? It had a color in its name? Temple of the Fallen Star, is that it? Aberrant Reflections. Here we go. Let me find. Did I buy this one on itch? I thought I already bought this one. Hang on a sec. Now apparently I need my PayPal shit. Alright, sweet. Okay, so this was a gimmick that I think actually got executed fairly well. The idea here, and this is going to sound very, very Zelda. Let me scroll up here. All right, so this is from Direct Sun. Aberrant Reflections. The idea is that this is a mirror dungeon in which you're looking into a, like, as it says, like kind of like an eldritch mirror of our world in a way. And you can enter through these mirrors and kind of interact with the dungeon on one side, and then So this is going to sound very Zelda, right? You can interact with elements of the dungeon on one side, which are marked in purple. Like, if it exists in purple, it exists in this, like, mirror world. And then if you look back into the mirrors, it's like the dungeon is in a different way, right? So I like the map layout that they went with on this. I think this is kind of cool. In that there's different ways for you to access other areas in the dungeon based off of what's here or what's like obstructing some stuff or whatever. So you kind of get two dungeons in one kind of rolled into this adventure. Quite cool idea. I think that this is pretty well handled overall. I think that I really want to get a version of this in print because I would love to really go through and analyze the hell out of it to try and run it faithfully. Like the concept here. Eons ago, a star streaked across the sky and struck the horizon. Reality wrenched apart, birthing two new worlds, the mundane and the aberrant. Risen from the hideous darkness of the aberrant, intelligent insectoids called Hashara studied the fallen star in their unearthly temple. Their meddling awakened a cosmic scourge called the Fallen, an all-consuming plague that ravaged the aberrant and transformed the Hashara into little more than primal beasts. Decades ago, the wizard Ekvius discovered the Temple of the Fallen Star and rebuilt it for his own research. Eventually, the parasitic plague of the Fallen spread to the mundane world. Ekvius and his followers disappeared. The temple was sealed and forgotten along with all its secrets. 1 month ago, witless adventurers found and reopened the temple. Now fortune seekers from all over come to plunder the temple between worlds and gaze into its aberrant reflections. So the whole concept here is basically shiny surfaces that you can step into another world and see a mirror version of the like dungeon you're in. There's all kinds of cool shit with like the way that they did the layout on here. Like this is in this room, but it's only in this dimension right here. Very cool idea, you know? Yeah. How much do you think one can be inspired by works of fiction? You got some train inspirations from your train dungeon, but you don't want to overdo it. How much do you think one can be inspired by works of fiction? Not totally sure. I'm not totally sure what that might mean. Funny how my stream was focused on a water temple before you started made a formaldehyde temple dungeon? What? Oh, that's great. The Clockwork House from Dishonored 2. I haven't played Dishonored. Personally, you like the Arbiter's Grounds from Twilight Princess, but that's so yeah, I really dig what's going on here with this. I think that they executed on this gimmick fairly well and managed to keep it all like understandable at a sight read for any GMs that were like just picking this book up. See, simple. See what I mean by like the descriptions here? Light green flickers across an alabaster statue flanked by mirrors on the north and south walls. Notice that anytime something is important, it goes directly in the description, and what that could indicate is down here, right? Bang. Easy. Cake. Now, if this were 5e, some things would probably say like the smell of burning torches stings at your nostrils as their light is cast across an alabaster statue. Its light is also reflected off of several mirrors in this cold chamber that line the north and south walls. You feel tired. Like, they go very purple with 5e prose, and this is trying to reel it back in and say, like, look, here's the context of what you need to know to run these rooms. Bingo bango. That's it. You know. So, oh man. I think with that, bruh. You don't think that the 5e approach is objectively bad? You think it's just tailored towards a new audience? I actually just disagree there, because I think 5e didn't even really bother to tweak much from what the old school style of like writing adventures was, sadly. Old school adventures have a really big problem. These are like old school like D&D modules have a really bad issue of overwriting shit all the time to basically convey nothing. And I am a way bigger fan of give me utility. Give me like things that I can use. Don't just give me this like, okay, I'm going to read this. We thought that that was easier, but it turns out it's actually more overwhelming for how much information people need to process. They're like, oh, okay, well, I need to read this, or else like this doesn't really. I guess they won't be able to run this dungeon or whatever. No. You can't. Just like give people the prompt. This is what's in this room. All right, cool, sick. Trust them to be like, I'm gonna read this and convey what's in here, not like I need to read this down beat for beat, because this causes a weird pause, especially in like 5e adventures. You know, like you guys enter this room and let me read these 3 paragraphs to you guys. All right, that's it. You know, like yeah. So with that, I think I'm gonna peace out for the night. I'll be over in the Discord servers hanging out again. Hey, Free League. Oh my god. This is crazy to see. Dude, they sent fucking 3 copies of this. That's just so cool. Like one of their most gorgeous books. Oh. Yeah. Anywho, where am I sending you all? Thank you for the stream. Well, thank you guys for hanging out. Where are we going? That's the big question. YouTube. Ah, yeah, Night Onyx. Alright. Where are we going? Where are we going, chat? I guess I'll kick you all over to Cantur's Media, who appears to be prepping for RMOS. What is RMOS? I'm not sure. RMOS. Well, anyways, go say hey. Go be kind, folks. Okay. I'm gonna be out of here. I'll be hanging out on the Discord server. Remember to sign up. All that good business. And everybody, you have a great night. Stay safe. Stay healthy. And I'll see you in the next one.